What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Dynasty Mafia podcast. With you, as always, Antonio and Keenan. We are hanging out here on Monday night, 4/4/22. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Not good.
Not good.
Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good.
People listening from last week would know you had a big game over the weekend.
Saturday was rough. It was rough. It hurt. It hurt. But that's sports. Yeah. I took my bruises over the weekend. A few texts, few calls, a few DMs from all the loser UNC fans and all the loser Kentucky fans. Listen, all I gotta say is Duke is still the best college program in the country. Come on, they're gonna lose Coach K, but they're still recruiting like the best in the land. They're gonna have 4 top 5 or 3 top 5 recruits coming in next year. We're fine. And you know who's gonna win today? Simple, Kansas. Simple.
Kansas.
-4. Take it to the bank. Lock. Let's go.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. And obviously, if you heard at the end, Keenan was talking about Duke. Sad day for him. Didn't go well. Coach K's legacy ends. But speaking of a good legacy,
don't ever say that again. It ends.
Sorry, Coach K. Coach K is going to go off into the sunset. But like I said, speaking of legacies beginning, we have a beautiful guest on the pod tonight, joining the Mafia. If you're seeing it on YouTube, you can check him out. It's TJ McKinley, Mr._TJ_Savage on Twitter. How you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing good, Antonio. How you doing?
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited, man. When you were trying to get on the pod and we were excited to get you on here, man, I couldn't be happier. So I'm glad we're finally here. We were supposed to be on last night, ran into a few issues, so we appreciate you being able to open up some time for us.
Thanks for having me on. I was trying to get on a lot of podcasts now, but thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we'll teach you a thing or two of what not to do on a podcast.
Yeah, we definitely know how to mess up a time or two. But no, I mean, TJ, you're amazing at networking. You're always, you're on Twitter all the time. You're retweeting everybody's stuff. You're putting out some stuff. Like, you and I met through one of our content groups, and I mean, it's strong, and that's something you run. How's it been to interact with so many people on Twitter?
Well, my mom always tell me about bringing people together and not having everybody divided. So I was on Twitter one day. I see all these NFL podcasts, and I was like, how about we just bring them all together? And ever since that, everybody been knowing each other. Everybody podcast getting bigger, and that's all I wanted. I mean, I'm still in college. I'm a sophomore in college, but everybody come together. We all growing. I seen your podcast growing.
Yeah, man, that's for sure. And that's exactly what it is. Everybody trying to make everybody better. If you can grow and I can grow, we can all grow. As cliche as that might sound, I mean, truthfully, that's what it is. We started this 2 years ago. We're on episode 52 now. And it's been nothing but a good ride, man. So again, appreciate you for coming on. We're going to talk the whole time with TJ. We got a big show. It's our mock draft, one of the hottest episodes of the year, but it's that time. We have the draft in less than a month. Keenan, we got the draft in less than a month. I don't know how we're here. I really don't, man. But
it's my second favorite time of the year.
It's your second favorite time.
Yeah.
We had a big trade that was coming through today that we'll, discuss in a moment that does affect the draft. But I'm going to talk about the little rundown we have today. As I said, we have a mock draft, so that's going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk about a few guiding principles that we do have as we dive in. We got some news and notes, and we're really there's not too much going on. There's a couple signings in free agency. We really passed almost all the time with free agency. There's not too many big players left. And then we'll discuss the trade, and we're going to talk football. So we're going to have a hell of a good time, man. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, though, at Dynasty Mafia _FF. You can follow me at Antonio DeniCFF, Keenan at Keenan_716. And TJ, why don't you remind everybody where they can find you on Twitter?
My Twitter handle is at Mr. TJ Savage. You can go Google like the TJ McKinley and it'll pop up. But you can go find Dynasty Mafia podcast since we on here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. TJ McKinley, killing the game, my friend.
Man.
Let's talk about. We just mentioned the NCAA tournament's going to be on the night. We talked about Duke. Kansas went through. UNC went through. That's going to be a big surprise. TJ, who are you feeling tonight in the game? I know you said you're an Ohio State fan.
Well, before I moved to Alabama, I was in North Carolina, so I know all about the UNC Duke rivalry. Kanan. So I'm
Listen,
gonna have to go.
Listen, I haven't gotten a chance to get down there, but I'll have to go check. You know, I've seen pictures and stuff, how close they are, and it's awesome that you're from down there. So continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, but I was in North Carolina, but now I'm in Bama. But I'm gonna have to go with UNC.
Stop playing, TJ. Stop playing.
You got
he doesn't like that. Yeah, he's got the Duke. You're spitting on the man right now. It's hilarious.
Stop playing.
Who you doing with, Kanan?
You know who I'm going with. Not UNC. Not, you know, I saw a video yesterday on Twitter. They're all celebrating or whatever, and there's like a bootleg bar stool down there. And they asked the fan how he felt, and he's like, oh yeah, we're going to the championship game, Kentucky, we're coming for you. The guy goes, I hate to break it to you, but you ain't playing Kentucky. I'm like, this is the crap. This is the crap I have to watch now. But no, I got Kansas. I can't cheer for UNC. I've learned to like a couple of UNC players the last couple of weeks. Brady Mannix has grown on me a little bit, even though I hated him. Who's their center? Why can't I think of his name right now? 20 rebounds the other day.
Yeah. I don't know. With Cone starts with
no, not Cone. Baycock.
There you go. Ben Cone. That's what it is.
He grew on me, but I'm going with Kansas, guys. I can't cheer. I can't cheer for UNC.
If UNC wins, are they going to be the lowest seed to ever win? They're 10th seed, aren't they?
No. What was UConn a few years back? No, they're 8th. North Carolina's 8th. I think UConn was 10 a couple years back.
That would make sense.
Like 10 years.
Yeah, the year they were in Buffalo.
Yeah.
We're just reliving all those tournament memories. We went to the tournament a couple weeks ago, TJ, because the first round games were in Buffalo. So we had a good time. We got to see some good teams. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So I'm on Kansas, I think, too. I think they're too tough, man. I think the upset is what everybody wants to see. I've heard a lot of people excited for North Carolina. It's a good story, especially when they take down Duke with everything going on with Roy Williams, right? Oh, man, could you imagine Roy Williams retiring and he still gets to celebrate a championship?
You're going to piss me off.
Going to get Keenan angry before we even get started, man. But no, you saw a tweet about Brady Manic, didn't you?
Yeah, he had a better career than LeBron James, college career than LeBron James, which is true. LeBron James has 0 minutes played in college, but I thought it was pretty funny, and I read some of the comments on there, and everyone's giving the guy crap for it, not realizing it was a joke. Well, I mean, it's not a joke. He's kind of right about it. Think about it.
It's a fact. Well, you said that to me, and I looked at you for a second, and I was like, Keenan, what are you talking about, man? LeBron, what are you talking about? And then I was like, oh, yep, didn't go to college.
Yeah.
Speaking of college, TJ, where are you residing at right now? You said you're sophomore.
I go to Mississippi State. I'm getting my degree in business economics.
What college?
I got
Mississippi State.
Oh, Mississippi State.
And you are an Ohio State fan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, was that obviously before you went to Mississippi State? But like, how'd you make that choice going to Mississippi State? I know it's SEC, but damn, it's a big school. You had a good year with basketball.
I just ended up liking the school, and my mom liked the school, and I was just comfortable here, so I decided to come here.
The better question is, do you have a place for us to stay when we come see an Alabama Ole Miss game next year?
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
That's
I thought you was talking about coming over to my house.
Hey, that's a little Cleveland's a little closer. All right, let's switch to the Coach K hate, Keenan. I talked about his legacy, and TJ, I do have a point to this. All right, but Coach K is obviously done, so he says, but he's getting a lot of shade thrown at him for not winning a championship, and people are kind of tarnishing everything that he's done. The 5 championships, setting the Final Four record for men's. How do you feel about people that are great? And as we're witnessing it, like, how do you feel about throwing shade on people like that for their greatness? Do you have like spite against certain people like Tom Brady, for example?
I don't have spite against them. It's just I don't like how it makes it seem like it's only like there only one person doing it. Like you talk about player or coach wise. Like
Right.
you talk about Tom Brady or Coach K.
Just the fact that, like, so we're from Buffalo, right? We hated Tom
Mm-hmm.
Brady forever. The guy's got 6 Super Bowls, but he obviously killed the Bills like his whole career. So it took a long time for us to finally respect Tom Brady for what he was. And then you realize, man, you can't hate it that much longer. It's really great. So I always find it interesting that people tend to throw shade on greatness sometimes, like LeBron James.
Well, a lot of people just hate or they just jealous. They just
All
don't
right.
want to see other people succeed. Now, unless you one of them arrogant people who, oh, everybody beneath you and ain't nobody up here with me. Okay, then I can understand. But you want a humble player, so laid back player, and you just got a lot of people hating on you, or they just don't want to see you succeed. Sometimes it come off as jealous. Even if you are right about how they act, it could still come off as being jealous.
That's it. Yeah, man, that's facts. That's a good point. Coach K now leaving as well, and we talked about LeBron. Are you a LeBron fan, by the way? No. Oh, he's shaking right away. All right. So
He's from Cleveland too.
I know you from Cleveland. Like, is it because he left, or you never liked
I'm a
him?
Kyrie fan.
Oh wow! And he probably would have went to Ohio State. Ooh, you're really mixing the pot here, TJ.
No, he said,
I'm a big.
he said Duke.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Kyrie. That's some good matchings. But so LeBron, like that's another good example then of greatness. I'm a big fan of him, but Keenan was throwing shade forever. You obviously aren't a LeBron fan, but at the same point, we're witnessing greatness. Do you respect it?
I could respect it if they earned it.
If they earned it, did he earn it for you?
Who, LeBron?
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like LeBron earned it.
that's fair. I'll take
I feel
that.
like
That's
I
all
feel
I
like
need to hear.
I feel like he always had a super team though, but
Listen, I'm not even saying any of this, Tony.
I know you're not saying it. How do you?
I'm just sitting here. It's like music to my ears.
So you're not a super team fan. Well, what about like do you think some of the NFL teams are creating super teams right now? Like we just saw the Rams win the Super Bowl and they mortgaged their future to get a lot of players. Do you think that's something that
Arizona.
teams should do?
I think Arizona is a super team. They got a lot of market players they can make money off of, but I don't feel like the super team in football. I don't think you can really make a super team in football.
Yeah.
Not like name wise you can't. Name wise you can't.
Who was the Tennessee's quarterback that went to Philly years ago?
As far as
he was his first round pick. He went to Philly. He backed up Mike Vick, and he said, "This is a super team."
Oh man, you gotta have me thinking on that one.
Oh man,
Hasselbeck?
No, I wasn't.
You talking about dude who went to
he's like 15. He's like 15 years ago. It sounds like.
No. This is like not Deshaun Watson.
Matt Schaub. Was it Matt Schaub?
Oh, Matt Schaub.
No, not Matt Schaub. No. He was a first round pick. Whatever. Well, he went on to Mike. He goes because Eagles had a huge offseason. And he goes, yeah, now it's like a super team, and they ended up going like 5-11 that year. I got to figure out what who the player was.
You talking about Cole? Is it Kevin Cole?
No, not Kevin Cobb. Let's see here.
Yeah, I think the Bills drafted him, didn't they? Oh man, we're really going to blast in the past, man. What were we like? We were all teenagers. Oh man, so I don't know. I'm a big fan of like what the Rams had done. If you can get it done, but you're right, TJ. Like there might not be an ability to create a super team because you might have 1 year max.
Vince Young
have that, whereas Vince Young.
Do you remember that press conference?
I forgot he went to the Eagles.
Yeah,
that was interesting. But yeah, you're right. Like it's very tough to do super teams. Like they just lost Von Miller. The Rams did after they collected as many people as they could and got rid of their picks. Now they have Allen Robinson. Who did they just picked up from the Seahawks? Bobby Wagner. Like, I mean, they're just continuously throwing players, throwing anything at players that they can get. So we might be really
who
surprised
they couldn't get?
2 or 3 years from now.
You know who they couldn't get?
Oh,
Von Miller. He chose the Bills over
the Rams.
If you have 17 minutes, YouTube Von Miller's blog. It's the best 17 minutes you'll ever watch of his free agent day and how he he came up to get his decision. Really, really interesting stuff. He kind of gets the behind the scenes stuff of how NFL players, how stressful it is for NFL players to make that decision.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's nice to have a destination that where players want to go, right? I mean, TJ, the three of us now, we are finally experiencing something that we haven't had in our lifetimes, where places like Cleveland and Buffalo, players want to go to. You know, you just saw Amari going there. Now Deshaun's getting traded there. How'd that make you feel experiencing that and going through it when you haven't had that ability in your whole life?
Browns, we never had this many. What's the word? Marquee 9 players come to Cleveland. So you got Deshaun. Then let's just name a list. You had Odell. Then you had Landry. Then you had a good running back out of Georgia and Nick Chubb. Then you got Kareem Hunt coming off the Chiefs season. Then you had a good old line, Jedrick Willis Jr. Then on defense, you had the LSU dudes. I don't know their names off of my head. Denzel Ward and them. So, but now you got Deshaun Watson coming in and Amari Cooper and probably some other few players. I really just want to see what the Browns go draft.
There was a story today actually that the Browns are in talks with the Texans for Brandon Cooks.
Oh wow,
we don't need that.
Cooks is underrated, man. He's an underrated guy. What's he got? 1,000 yards with like 4 different teams?
Ain't he like 30?
He's up there. He's probably 28, 29 for sure. But you know, he'd be somebody that'd be a real nice compliment in the slot potentially.
Yeah, I was about to say,
yeah, for Amari. But how excited were you when Deshaun got traded? Were you unsure with the full guarantee, or were you just, I don't care, we just got Deshaun Watson?
This is all I'm gonna say because I don't want to sound crazy. If he just come in
off the field aside, of course.
If he just come in and get us to the playoffs, I'll be satisfied. And win a playoff game. If he come in and win a playoff game, I'll be satisfied.
Yeah, what's the drought now? Is it 18? Oh no, you guys won last year, right?
When you think of it since like when we come back in 90?
2 years
ago. You said right?
2 years ago. Did you beat the Steelers in the first round?
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. So I think you got the same win. Yeah, because we both kind of ended droughts very similar to each other. But speaking of the draft, you were very excited to see who they're going to get. Do you have a hunch? Who you hoping for?
I was hoping we got that Michigan linebacker, the number one. I was hoping who got injured in his pro day. I hope he get better. I know. I feel so bad for him. He got injured in his pro day. We really need linebackers. Browns always had linebacker problems. Like we can have a good secondary and good D line, but linebackers, we need a solid one. Like, we always need linebacker.
I know. What a good feeling.
TJ, why don't you suit up? Get the shoulder pads on.
Yeah, you look like they probably tried to draft you a little bit at Mississippi State. They're probably talking to you. Let's talk real quick before we get into a little bit. Well, actually, we'll get right to our news and notes. The Eagles and Saints made a trade today. Huge trade. Keenan, why don't you walk us through what that trade looked like?
Let me pull it up here because it was a lot of draft picks.
Yeah, lots of draft picks.
Yeah, so I'll just stick with the 4 main pieces really. So the Saints are getting number 16 and number 19 pick in the first round this year, and the Eagles are getting a number 18 pick in the first round next year. So what are the Saints doing? Saints trading up for a quarterback? I sure hope so. That's why the Saints have to trade up for a quarterback. Here's the thing. If you're trading up to get any other position besides a quarterback when you don't have an established quarterback on your team, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Why are you going to spend assets to build your team and still have a void at the most important position, not in just football, in all sports? I know you're going to – Antonio, I could really read what you're saying. Give respect to Jameis Winston. Listen, I respect Jameis Winston. I love Jameis Winston. I'm sorry, but he is not a franchise quarterback. Okay? And now you lost Sean Payton, one of the best offensive-minded head coaches in the league. You're going to see I wouldn't be surprised if they're a bottom 5 team. Let's just say that. And now you gave up a first-round pick. You gave up your first-round pick next year. And even if it's in the bottom 10 of the draft, you lost this trade. Unless you unless you're drafting one of the quarterbacks this year and they're good. But especially the only problem I have with the trade if they're trading up to get a quarterback this year, this quarterback class isn't anywhere near to what next year's quarterback class is.
Well, let me pause you there for just 1 second. So, as you mentioned, the Saints received the number 16 and 19 pick, so they do have now two first rounders
This year.
The Eagles did get the 18th pick, and they still have the 15th pick from the Colts, I believe they had gotten.
And they get an extra first now.
So they got a third this year, they got a first next year, and a second in 2 years. That second might wind up getting thrown around in the draft this year. I wouldn't be surprised. But it seems, TJ, I want to hear your thoughts first. Second, we did hear Keenan's. But does it seem to you like the Eagles are set with Jalen Hurts, and they're just trying to build around him now? Like, they still have 2 first-round picks, but what do you think that they're doing with the Eagles, and who do you think won the trade?
I feel like I don't know. They both gave up a lot of the stock and draft picks, but I feel like the Eagles are trying to build around Jalen Hurts. But I really think they trying to build their defense more than their offense. If you get what I'm saying. But I think the Saints won, but they lost more. If you get what I'm saying. Like, but really,
they won now, but next year they'll be losers.
And ain't the Saints are like $30 million in debt and cash space? Like, ain't they in their negative cash space right now?
Yeah, they're not doing great with money, and that's why I do wonder as well if maybe that's why they wanted to get a couple more draft picks, because you don't have to pay them as much. You know, you get those 4-year contract, 5th-year deal in the first round.
But you're still giving up a first next year.
You are, but you said Jameis isn't the person.
You're robbing for Pete to pay Paul.
So let me just pose this question, because like I said, you said Jameis isn't the answer. He signed a 2-year deal. They basically mortgaged next year in their first round pick. The only option in my mind that they have left, because they don't have a first now to give up next year. They kept their second. Are they going to move that to move up in the draft?
They're moving up to get Willis.
Or are they drafting a wide receiver and an offensive lineman?
Like
more pieces for Jameis. You have Kamara. You have a good run game. You're bringing Michael Thomas back. Your defense is already not that bad at all. You got a great defensive line. So maybe they go cornerback and wide receiver, or offensive line and wide receiver, and they stick with Jameis.
I think that good luck.
This one I'm gonna say about the Saints. Unless the Saints do a lot of the teams do go get a quarterback from a small school like D1, D1-2 school, they need to draft a quarterback like Keenan said, Willis or somebody.
Do you believe in it? So do you believe in Willis, or do you believe in any quarterback this year that could be a franchise quarterback?
There's a few. Like I said, I don't know the names, but I've seen a few. But it's like the Saints just gonna have to look up on draft picks.
Yeah.
They're not looking too good in the next 2 or 3 years, and they keep their roster. They got.
They're going up to get Malik Willis. This isn't the last of their trade of them moving up the board.
So if it's not, though, let me pose one more thing to you. If it's not the last move, why didn't you make a move with somebody else with the firepower they just gave up?
Well, because maybe someone wants 2 picks this year.
Well, what do you mean?
Whoever they're trading up with wants 2 first-round picks this year.
Oh, to get that spot.
Yeah, especially if they're going up from 16 to 2, you're going to need 2 first-round picks this year.
I think somebody's job on the line. That's just weird.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, that's very true.
Kenny Pickett's going to end up going to Carolina, and I get my prediction is the Eagles to Carolina, and
they trade up for
the Saints trade up to 2. Was that Lions? Who has the second?
I don't know about 2. Like, obviously depends on what.
Well, they might not
have a quarterback in the top 10.
Well, they want to get it ahead of the Jets because the Jets are looking to trade back.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know why they just want to work a trade with the Jets, but they don't want to trade behind the Jets because the Jets are definitely moving back.
You might be right with the trading up move, because why, now that they have 16 and 19, I mentioned the Eagles have 2 first-round picks. It's 15 and 18. So they're picking right before the Saints twice. So they made a trade with the Saints, gave them so much capital, and the Saints or the Eagles could still screw them over on 2 picks, and they have some similar needs.
You know what that tells me? The Saints approached the Eagles.
Yeah, I agree with that because they probably couldn't find a trade partner. They're like, hey, we're doing this with you, and we might see another move in the next few days. You might be right. TJ, do you like Hurts long term? Jalen Hurts.
If he stay injury free, he could.
Top 5?
He one of the players where you gonna have to see.
Yeah,
but I don't think everything gonna be his fault if they don't be winning. I don't think everything gonna be his. I mean, of course he's the quarterback. Everything gonna be on him, but we gonna see what the Eagles front office gonna do. Let's see how they draft these new 2 or 3 draft picks.
They've been quiet this offseason.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, this is the first move, and they're normally one of the louder ones. So, do you think they're a piece away? Like, let's just say, I know Keenan's not gonna like this. Jamison Williams is on the board for them at 15, and they draft him. Now you got him in.
His name is Malik Willis.
Wait, what? Oh, I was gonna say what? Don't be fooling me like that. But then you have him and Devonta Smith, who both went to Alabama. I don't know. And then you get Jalen Hurts, who was at Alabama. Real interesting. But do you think they're a wide receiver piece away from being a real contender? Do you like Miles Sanders and the pieces around Jalen Hurts?
Talking
TJ?
me?
Sorry.
Oh no, Kenny, you go first. You go first.
I do think Hurts can be a good quarterback. I mean, he got that team to the playoffs last year. I don't think the Eagles have done any favors for him. They've drafted wide receivers and they missed on wide receivers. They could have had Justin Jefferson, and they decided to draft your boy Antonio. Who was it? Remind me.
Keep talking. I told you my day was rough earlier. I'll think about it.
And Smith last year.
Oh, Devonta Smith from last year. I'm sorry.
And who was 2 years ago?
Yeah, that's who I was.
And 2 years ago was a massive miss. That's when they had Jefferson. I think they could have drafted Jefferson, but they went and grabbed a different wide receiver. Then they also don't like to use their running back, Miles Sanders, who's one of the best running backs talent-wise, in my opinion, in the league. They don't like to use him. They like to use running backs.
Rager. Jeez.
Yeah, Jalen Rager. They like to use running backs that they picked up off the street and give them more carries than Miles Sanders. So I don't think they've given Hurts anything to work with. And ever since he's been in the league, you hear all this, they're trading for so-and-so. They're done with Hurts. How can you be done with a young quarterback that has done nothing but improve since he's been in the league, has put up early Russell Wilson numbers in his career, or from the start of his career, and you want to just give up on the guy? I don't think they've done any favors to help him. So I do think they're a piece or two away from being a contender. And let's be honest, that division sucks. I know everyone's gonna get on me. Dallas won 13 games. I don't care. Dallas sucks. They're overrated, and so is Dak Prescott.
Oh, TJ, I think you might have some agreements with Keenan, huh? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Keenan. I think the Eagles front office, instead of putting all the pressure on Jalen to carry on to the playoffs, how about y'all put some pieces around him? And I don't think the Eagles front office need to get some one-track mind on offense, because I think even though they got a solid defense now, some of the defensive players are old. Like, you need to get some young dudes on defense. ASAP.
Here's the thing they set themselves up, the Eagles right now, TJ. They can draft pieces to help Hurts on the defense or offense, and they still have 2 first-round picks next year. So if Hurts doesn't have a great year this year, guess what? Next year's a big quarterback class. Then you could use those 2 first-round draft picks to move up the board to get whoever you want. So I think the Eagles are in good shape. Whatever they do, they're in fine shape.
I'm gonna ask one quick question: Kyler Murray or Jalen Hurts? Who would you rather have?
I think the simple answer is Hurts. I think the right answer is, I think the simple answer is Kyler. I think the right answer is Hurts. I think Hurts is really, really, really underrated. I really do, and I think Kyler Murray is overrated.
I'm glad you finally came around.
I think I've been saying Kyler Murray's overrated for a while.
Quick question. Why do you think he overrated?
I just think I think they crowned him way too early. We saw it this year, TJ, play out. They started off hot, had a great start to the season, and what happened towards the end? They tailed off. What happened in the playoffs? They got blown out by the Rams.
They did.
And that's where it comes down to me. And the same thing last year happened. They beat the Bills in that Hail Mary game. They were set up to make the playoffs, and they missed the playoffs. I don't know if that's a coaching thing, but right now I got to put on Murray. And until Murray takes that next step to actually be a top 10 quarterback, I have to side with Hurts on this one, just because I don't think Hurts has as much talent as Kyler Murray does. Kyler Murray has DeAndre Hopkins. Kyler Murray had a great running game. Kyler Murray had a great defense. Hurts, on the other hand, I don't think, like I said a minute ago, I don't think that their team has given them much support, not just on the field, but clearly off the field, because there's always rumors that they want to move away from them.
Arizona, if they don't want Super Bowl next year, they a bust team. Let's just go ahead and call it.
Let's start with winning a playoff game.
Yeah, if they don't at least make it to a playoff, they're gonna be one of like this decade's bust team. The amount of star power between LA and Arizona, if one of them two teams on at least win a playoff game, they bust team.
I think the Rams have separated themselves from the Cardinals right now. Speaking of quiet, Cardinals have had a quiet offseason too. Can't hear you, Antonio.
Sorry, that's what I was gonna say. Shouldn't they just sign their quarterback?
They don't
like. Kyler's having contract issues. Like, should they just pay the man?
Well, it depends what he wants. If he wants, let's talk about this quarterback. These contracts. Deshaun Watson just set the bar. He's getting 100% guaranteed. Josh Allen, 30% guaranteed only.
Aaron Rodgers.
Patrick Mahomes only,
Aaron Rodgers.
I think it was 19% guaranteed. Executives around the league, there was a report today, they're ignoring the Deshaun Watson contract. They're saying that they want nothing to do with that contract in negotiating with players. So is that what's holding up the Kyler Murray signing?
Hey, I mean, every person is going to probably say that same thing when you're in the business decision, right? Yeah. I'm not going to address that $45 million a year contract.
No, it's not the 45.
I'm not letting my players do that.
It's not the 45. It's the 100% guaranteed.
Well, yeah, but that's what essentially you are now telling yourself at least $45 million nearly is on the books every year for the next 5 years, like regardless if he's there or not there. So, yeah, it's very tough for any executive to say 40, that much money is going to be guaranteed to you every single year as a quarterback.
Must be nice.
One last thing I want to say, and then we're going to move on quickly to the Devontae Parker trade. Let's just float this into the ideas real quick. DK Metcalf might be a Philadelphia Eagle after the draft is over.
DK Metcalf could have been a Philadelphia Eagle 2 years ago too.
DK Metcalf and AJ, very true. AJ Brown trade rumors have been coming about. Teams have been calling, making offers. I mean, that happens every offseason. Well, we know that. Great players always kick the tires.
Not to interrupt you, before we jumped on, former general manager of the Bills, Antonio. Last general manager, Doug Whaley. Oh, Buddy Nix, buddy.
Relax. I don't know where you're going. Sorry.
Doug Whaley was on Sirius XM earlier today, and he said that he can see the Bills trading Stephon Diggs this offseason.
Oh, wow.
It's
wide receiver class is getting a lot of hype.
This is why we won't get into Bills talk because we somehow do. This is why I say the Bills need to draft a wide receiver because this is scary what happened with Hill and Adams. And I'm sorry, Diggs is going to want to get paid. And I'm on his side. I'd want to get paid too. So let's add Diggs to the friggin' trade rumor circus here.
I guess we're gonna have to add digs to the trade rumors.
Not that Doug Whaley's a reliable source, but
true. But I could very much see at least a few first-round picks getting thrown around to some teams for some marquee players. Like I think we're just hitting the tip of how crazy this really could get. Like I just said, we just saw another trade, an interdivision trade nonetheless. Devontae Parker traded from Miami to New England for a 22 fifth and a 23 third. One, shocked that Miami dealt someone to the Patriots, especially on offense, and a caliber receiver as Devontae Parker. I don't mean that as obviously crazy high praise, but he's got talent. He's shown up before. 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns just a few years ago. Was on pace for 1,000 yards last year. Pre-injury, played 8 games. Do you think, TJ, do you believe in Mac Jones? First question. No. Not a Mac Jones fan.
I like TJ.
So
TJ on the same side for everything besides the game tonight.
So does this help Mac Jones at all? Do you think Devontae Parker could still be a 1,000-yard receiver?
Well, he can be. I mean, he is like, what, 30, 29 years old. That's like an old. For wide receivers, he's just old. But he gonna be number one, number two. They got, what's his name, Aguilar?
No, they moved on from him, right? They cut him.
Yeah, they got Corey Davis, I think was their number one. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They have Jonnu and Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
Jonnu Smith's coming back. They have Hunter Henry still at tight end.
New England will always be one of them teams post Tom Brady era that's gonna be hated. It don't matter who they get. But Devontae Parker, he's gonna come in and be solid. Okay, Kaden. He gonna come in. He gonna come in and be solid, but I don't think he gonna be long term. I think they just need somebody right now. I really think they testing Mac Jones out. See if he gonna be. What he got 2 more years on his rookie deal? 2 or 3.
So he'll have 4 once they pick up that 1 year, that 5th year option.
Let me piggyback.
But if not, 3 more.
Let me piggyback on TJ. Mac Jones sucks. That's why they traded Devontae Parker there, because they're not scared of Mac Jones.
I was getting to that. Hold on.
Go ahead.
They trying to see, like I was about to say, they trying to see if Mac Jones is worthy. Because if he don't do good with mid wide receiver, we gonna say Devontae Parker. He good. We gonna say he mid for right now. If you can't do good with him, we know you're not gonna do good when we get an elite receiver or a young receiver. So I think they testing Mac Jones out more than they trying to see what Devontae Parker can do.
Yeah. And Miami said, listen, we're not scared of Mac Jones. Here, you could take Devontae Parker.
Well, I was surprised actually. 5th and a 3rd.
I thought it was high.
Mostly the 3rd. Yeah, mostly the 3rd I was surprised. I saw the 5th round pick, and I actually didn't see the 3rd until I saw the trade again later. And I was like, oh, wow. So
I guarantee they had to throw that 3rd in. Because
I think he has 2 year, $12 million left on his deal, if I saw right.
The interdivision.
I might be wrong. They New England probably approached, which was interesting. That's definitely not a Belichick thing. Do you like Tua, TJ? I know we're coming at a lot of sophomore quarterbacks for you.
I really just like Alabama quarterback. Other than Jalen, I think they did Jalen dirty. So, Tua, I think that's Tua last year. If he don't get at least like 3,000-4,000 yards throwing, he passing, I think this is last year. He don't have what 2 or 3 stomach, was it rib surgeries, knee surgeries, back surgeries.
Yep.
He only played like 4 or 5 games a season. He only been in the league like a year or 2. Like this is last season. It's hit or bust with him.
I agree.
What y'all think?
They're gonna have. I mean, the Tom Brady rumors aren't just rumors. I don't think that he wants to play in Miami. I think there's something behind that. And after the Tyreek Hill trade, I think the rumors picked up even more. So I really think TJ, you're definitely right. I think this is his year for Tua. He needs to show that he's the guy, or they're going to move on from him. I mean, I think Tua's just an average quarterback. Antonio thinks otherwise, but that's conversation for another day.
No, I tell you, what you think?
I think in this day and age, we talked about super teams. You don't need the super team, but it's very hard to repeat in the NFL like these days. So what team's doing now, like Cleveland just tried it. If you have I don't want to say the word mediocre, but if you don't have an elite quarterback, you got to get the pieces around him. You get a great defense, get a good run game, try and get some superstar wide receivers. Cleveland tried it. They didn't have the right player. I can't rule out every other quarterback of not having that ability. And I will always believe that they can take that next step if the pieces show up there. I think the players like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, amazing yards after catch wide receivers, great route runners. I think it's extremely helpful for the things Tua lacks, downfield throwing. He's not the most accurate guy, but his legs are great. And if you give him someone who can catch the ball after 7 to 8 yards and they can do the rest, it might work. But they are risking a lot. They're risking a lot for getting into the playoffs and hoping to achieve a few more things. So I hope they don't for my own selfish needs, but I do like Tua. Would you rather have Tua or Joe Burrow for fantasy?
Joe Burrow? It's not even close.
Joe Burrow doesn't run, though.
Come on. Joe Burrow has two young wide receivers. He has Chase.
But now Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
Dude, come on. That was bad. All
right, fine.
That was
You're
bad.
Right. What about let's go with Tua or
Jalen Hurts? That's fair.
Yeah, if you're not a believer in Tua, would you rather have Jameis?
No, I'd go with Tua.
I
like Jameis. But I just don't think he's a franchise quarterback. I really don't. I don't know why I like Jameis, really.
This is my last time defending. This is my last stat with Jameis until we have to get into the offseason because I know nobody wants to hear about him. The guy threw 30-plus touchdowns with Tampa Bay. We know that. And yes, he threw 30-plus interceptions. We also know that. I talked about this a couple years ago. Negate anything that had Bruce Arians as the coach or the offensive coordinator. Doesn't matter. He's got now, I believe, 7 quarterbacks to have their career high in receptions. So it's just the offense, man. We saw Jameis come in last year, made some pretty nice throws. I'm just saying, I think there's going to be a few more teams going all in on players this year. We'll see. We'll see what changes happen. And speaking of changes, the NFL had their owners meeting last week. The biggest change coming through was the overtime rule, thanks to the Bills. But the biggest change was in the playoffs, the overtime rule. We all know everybody gets 2 opportunities to have it if they stop the first team from scoring a touchdown. But now it's both teams will get the ball, regardless of a touchdown being scored on the first drive or not. TJ, what do you think? Do you think this really changes anything if it's just going to be in the playoffs and the infrequency that we have it? I know last year was kind of an anomaly.
The playoff rule where both teams get the ball overtime.
Yeah,
I think a lot of teams gonna be on some controversial type stuff like the Saints was. It really don't matter because if we score, if I get the ball first and my team get the ball first and I score, and then you get the ball and you don't score, it's like okay. It really, I think games gonna be longer though. You got 2 high power offense like, was it the Bills in Kansas City?
Yeah.
Last year with Patrick Mahomes got the ball first. You got 2 high power offense like that. It's gonna be like gonna go longer. I think it's more exciting too.
Did you like? So you're happy with the change? You thought at least what they had before should be corrected?
Because now I think teams gonna go harder to win the game before they get to overtime.
I got.
Yeah, oh, I never thought of that.
That's fair. Yeah, it's actually true. Yeah, why would you go for a field goal to go into overtime? If I didn't think about that either.
Yeah, I didn't think about that either. I think they're just banning the rule. Honestly, like TJ just said, you're gonna have 2 high power offenses. What happens if the Bills get the ball first, score a touchdown, Kansas City gets the ball, next they score a touchdown, the Bills get the second possession, they score a touchdown. So the Bills had 2 possessions and Kansas City got 1. We're back to square one, pretty much.
It's like college.
Yeah. What's that? Yeah. Well, college at least you get possession each overtime. I think they should just go to another 15 minutes in the postseason. Play another quarter. And listen, you laugh now, but I'm serious. It's just going to bring more strategy and stuff. You're just band-aiding rules. It's going to happen, and we're going to be here again in 2-3 years. They're changing the rules again.
You know what I do wonder?
You know what they should do?
is-
Just do a field goal competition. Kicker
Kick
20 yards, 25, 30. First kicker to miss, you're out of the playoffs.
Well, I do wonder how many teams, like let's say, opposing team scores first, you got to go down score, and then you score a touchdown. How many are going to go for 2?
I would go every time. I would never take the ball out of my who's supposed to be my best player as a quarterback. I would never take the ball out of the best player's hand. That's just like when the Bills went for it on 4th down against Tennessee. Everyone gave McDermott crap because they didn't kick a field goal to go overtime. Nope. I'm doing that 100 times out of 100. I'm never taking the ball out of Josh Allen's hand. Simple as that. And if he didn't slip, it's probably a touchdown and they win that game.
I think a lot of teams about to start getting bold, like Keenan said, the 2-play conversions, because they're not trying to go in overtime, especially in the playoff. Well, the playoffs, they not.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. All right, we're gonna get quickly here into the mock draft. 2 more things to mention. Marlon Mack got signed by Houston. Hayden Hurst signed with Cincinnati. Do you guys care about either of those?
Nope.
No, that's fair.
Well, let's talk about Marlon Mack. We ain't gonna talk about Hayden Hurst. Marlon Mack, before the Colts drafted Jonathan Taylor, who now like a top 3 or 4 running back, he was a good running back for them. Of course, he got injured.
Yeah,
now where he going? He going to Houston. Houston got like what 4 or 5 running backs on their depth chart. So he gonna come in. I mean, he got the name, but are you gonna come in and automatically start starting? Let's say that.
That's what I think. David Johnson's gone. I think they brought him in as a cheap option. Not that they're trying to tank.
He's got to be their starter, right?
I'd say so. I mean, in 18 and 19, like TJ mentioned, before Jonathan Taylor was coming in, he had 2,000 yards and 17 rushing touchdowns.
If you could name the 3 other running backs on their depth chart, I'll give you $100.
Currently,
without cheating.
Oh, you're not gonna like this, dude. You're about to lose $100.
$100. You're not gonna get this. If you get this,
I mean, I got Naeem Hines pretty easily.
He's not on there.
Indianapolis?
No, on Houston.
Oh, Houston. I'm sorry. Philip Lindsay.
Nope.
They don't have him.
Nope.
Damn, he's gone too. Yeah, I'm gonna.
How about Rex Burkhead?
Mixed up the.
How about some Royce Freeman?
Oh,
and how about your boy Dare? I can't even pronounce his last name. It starts with an O.
Dare. Oh, Darren Ogunbowale.
Yeah. Olga what? Yeah.
Ogunbowale.
Yeah.
That's actually that's now you got Marlon Mack. I mean, that's funny. I forgot Royce Freeman and Philip Lindsay switched. Former Broncos teammates. I don't know. Yeah, we don't have to talk about Houston anymore. Let's get into this freaking mock draft. I'm ready to go. TJ's excited to go. He's going to be doing his first ever mock draft, so I'm excited for him. And Keenan, this is all your favorite too. So what do we have here? We got a Dynasty League, 12-team PPR startup draft. We're going to go from the 3rd spot today. We kind of figured that might be the best way to get us starting. We usually like to do another 1 or 2 in the offseason before the season starts. We got 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, and 2 flex. So we're going to have a good 8-player starting lineup. So we're probably actually just going to do the starting lineup and then let it be from there because that'll be some good fun. So we're actually going to just get right into it. So I'm going to throw my share screen here. We're doing it right through Fantasy Pros. My favorite place to go if you guys don't, not a sponsor, of course, but all right. Let me know if we're good. Good to go? Perfect. Yep. So the draft has started. Jonathan Taylor went first. I think that's kind of everybody's number 101. Interesting, though, Najee Harris went second.
That's the first time I've seen that.
Never seen that.
Yeah,
Najee Harris went second. So you both agree that might be a reach.
Not a reach.
It might be a little too early to go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather honestly have Chase or Cooper Kupp, or Chase.
Well, would you rather have CMC or Najee? 5-year age difference.
Probably Najee, just because he's going to get a bulk of the carries there.
Especially since Roethlisberger gone.
Yeah. Who knows what that offense is going to be, honestly. But the one thing in that offense that's going to be the same is that it's going to be 60-40, 60-40 run versus pass.
TJ, do you think he's Najee, do you think he's quarterback proof after dealing with what we saw last year from Big Ben?
What does that mean, quarterback proof?
So now he's like, can he do well regardless of what quarterback's back there? Because now they got Mitchell Trubisky. Does that bother you? Is that a good
No,
thing?
especially since they just lost JoJo Smith to Kansas City. I don't,
Yeah.
because he know in the back of his mind every play he getting hit at least 3 or 4 times. So I don't think he gonna do good at first, but unless he come out there like Barry Sanders or Emma Smith or one of the great running backs, he a big running back too.
Yeah, that's true. So help us out here, TJ. Our picks up. We have the pick of the litter. Any wide receiver we want, or a couple young running backs, as well as CMC. But what route are you thinking about going here, TJ? Wide receiver or running back, or are you thinking a quarterback?
Where the hell is Cooper Kupp on this list?
Cooper Kupp's a little low on the list, man. Oh, sorry, that was just wide receivers. But Cooper Kupp's fourth.
Okay,
at least by the rankings here that we got with Fantasy Pros. But TJ, are you leaning Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, CMC?
It's between Jamar Chase and Christian McCaffrey, but I would have to go with Jamar because he coming off. A lot of people gonna go with Jamar because he's coming off of course the Super Bowl run. And I think him and Joe Burrow about to be like Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison.
Oh wow.
Christian McCaffrey gonna carry the load of that Panthers offense. But I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase
if he can stay healthy, right?
Who, Jamar?
No,
yeah, Jamar.
If McCaffrey can stay healthy.
Oh, if McCaffrey can stay healthy. Yeah. Well, I'm letting you pick first for us. We are going to go with Jamar. I love him. He is my top wide receiver. Justin Jefferson is tough to pass by, but I mean, it's what do you got? It's the toughest choice, and you can't go wrong, I think, either way. So next was Justin Jefferson. Then we saw DeAndre Swift and Cooper Kupp go off the board. So we get to pick here up in 203. Let's see who else went first round. McCaffrey went 7th. Barkley was 8th. The 5th running back off the board. How do you feel about Saquon Barkley, TJ? You believe in?
I think Saquon went out of New York. I really think he want to get traded. I really do think he want to get traded.
Yeah.
He good.
You think he's pushing for it?
He's not gonna do it publicly, but I think behind the scenes, I think he really want to get out of New York. Yeah. And I think any team would pick him up. Any team that ain't got an established running back would pick him up.
I was hoping Buffalo would make a move, to be honest with you, especially after our old offensive coordinator is now the new head coach in Brian Daboll.
Score update, 7-3 Kansas.
Oh, it's game over. Stop. CeeDee Lamb went after Barkley. I have some tough times going back and forth between him and Jamar Chase as my potential 101 now that they got rid of Amari. Do you like CeeDee Lamb, TJ?
Number 88 for Dallas.
Yeah, can he be the best wide receiver in the league?
No.
I can't.
It's not Cowboy. And no, it's not Cowboy hate. Don't kill me. It's not Cowboys hate.
That's a fair response.
It's just the talent above him. It's just a little bit better.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp is gonna be he's gonna be in the top 5 for the next at least 2 years. Then you have Devontae Adams, who's everyone's giving him shade because he's over in Vegas, but I still think he has a great year with Carr. I think Tyreek Hill's going to stay in the top 10. Jefferson's going to be in the top 10. I just feel like there's better wide receivers out there right now until CeeDee Lamb proves it. He's not going to get the respect that he deserves.
Well, what does he have to prove, though?
He has to prove that he's better than he has to put a career year together. All these other wide receivers,
1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns in your rookie year as a second wide receiver.
Come on, Antonio. That's nothing compared to what these other wide receivers have done.
Well, right. But so he had 120 targets last year. And I don't want to get too caught up on him, but he had 120 targets last year. What do you think he's going to get this year? 150 easily? Because, I mean, I could see them drafting a wide receiver in the 1st or 2nd round. I just don't know if that's someone that's going to command enough targets. Michael Gallup, we're hoping he's healthy for the first week. Yeah, I don't know. That's my spiel with CeeDee Lamb real quick. We had a running back run, though. 5 straight running backs going before us as if they knew. Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, Eckler, Javonte Williams, and Delvin Cook
Why don't you make this pick, Antonio? I see your guy up there. I want to see what you do.
What do you think? I don't know. I'm kind of torn, and this is one thing when you're mock drafting. One of the principles you want to take away. Don't set yourself up right when you start that, I'm going this route or I'm going this route for my first, second, third pick, or every single time I mock, I want a wide receiver first round. That's the point of a mock draft, right? Like that's the reason you're doing it. It's like a practice test. You're trying to see how things fill out, different strategies, different way to do things, because this isn't cement. It's not the only way to do it. And you can build your team so many different ways. So that's kind of why I'm sitting here thinking, do I want to start wide receiver, wide receiver, tight end? Do we need a running back? Because
no, you don't.
Those are more scarce.
What's the best available running back?
So the best running back that we have left right now would be Antonio Gibson, Nick Chubb, Cam Akers. I mean, you're right. That's tough sledding.
You're getting one of those on the back end of this round.
Yeah, we did. I forgot to mention we did do we forgot to talk about that before we started, but we decided to go linear as opposed to snake with the startup.
Wow.
We didn't talk about it beforehand. I know you probably forgot that, Keenan.
What do you mean? We're doing snake?
No, we're linear.
No, we're.
Yeah, we were third, and now we're third again in the second.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So that's something we can kind of dive into later, but that's another strategy to do if you do snake or linear. Depends on what league settings you go by.
That changes everything now.
Yeah,
now I'm thinking that running back is you might want to reach for that running back. Go back to the running back list. I'll take over. This is gonna be my pick.
All right, Keenan's got the pick. I mean, there's a couple players. Now that we do have Jamar Chase, so it gives us some freedom.
I didn't see J.K. Dobbins.
What'd you say?
J.K.
Dobbins. He's coming back from injury. He'll be a sophomore running back and showed a lot of promise when he was healthy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that might be the best move, but is this where you could risk it and go a different route and see if they're gonna come back to us next round?
Tyreek
Hill.
It's easy to me. The PPR receptions, you're going to have two of the best wide receivers on your team.
Over A.J. Brown, huh?
Yeah, I'm not.
About a 5-year age difference? Does that matter, or if Tyreek at the 28-year age?
It doesn't matter to me, Antonio, in startups. It really doesn't, because you want to make when you're doing a startup, you want to compete, right off the gate. You don't want to be like, I'm tanking. I want get the first pick next year. What's the point?
Yeah.
Where to me, I think if Tyreek Hill has an amazing season, which he probably will, he's gonna bring you value back when you try to trade him.
Is Kyle Pitts on your mind at all here, TJ? Do you like Kyle Pitts?
I think Kyle Pitts on the players. If he ain't got the right quarterback, he can get yards, but he ain't got the right person. He's not going to thrive.
Yeah, one touchdown last year was really frustrating to deal with. So to invest a top 15 pick in someone like Pitts might be kind of tough to swallow. I'd like that pick, but we're going to go with Tyreek Hill. That was Keenan's pick. So we're starting wide receiver, Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill. I mean, that's sexy. Just got to make sure that we're getting ourselves together for the next round. So let's see how the running backs fared. Right after us was Kyle Pitts and then A.J. Brown. Devontae Adams and Antonio Gibson went. Nick Chubb, DK Metcalf. Mark Andrews, the second tight end off the board after Kyle Pitts. And you finally see some Derrick Henry rounding out the next round. So Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, both the 49ers before we get to come up here. I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't have minded getting either Kittle or Deebo Samuel. That would have been kind of cool.
But look who's staring at you right now.
I know. Look who's staring at us. No quarterbacks off the board just yet. We could get somebody like Josh Allen, who was the first one. Or you could
get Cam Akers.
Oh, or Cam Akers. We do need a running back. Or do you want to start off, pretty hot and get some elite wide receivers?
I was going to say, you got Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Jamar
What-
Chase.
I really. What'd you say?
Why don't you grab Jalen Waddle here, and then
Yeah,
when
we
you
got
trade,
Tyreek Hill.
yeah, but then you could trade Tyreek Hill for a better running back. Listen,
It's probably not something I would advise to try and do in the.
I do it all the time. It works.
Yeah, but you got to hope to have an active league, and
Well,
that's the biggest thing.
well,
And
don't
then,
join.
hope people aren't
Don't
asking
join
for-
non-active leagues, I guess.
We also got Jamar Chase. Don't forget about him. So we already
Yeah.
got 2 wide receivers.
Yeah, we got 2 wide receivers, so maybe we should stick with the running back route. I really, really want Dobbins. I'm agreeing with you there, but what's stopping me is Sean McVay came out saying Cam Akers is going to be their guy. That's going to be dangerous, don't you think?
I feel like they're gonna be throwing the ball like. I don't think Sean McVay gonna be running like that unless he short runs.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the executive decision and hope that J.K. Dobbins comes back to us for round 4. I'm taking Cam Akers. I loved him last year. So T. Higgins, Diggs, and J.K. Dobbins, 2 picks later, did go away. So someone had that idea. Sorry, guys. Travis Kelce went at 308. Josh Allen right before him, the first quarterback going off the board. Zeke and Aaron Jones rounding out round 3. Do you think Zeke or Aaron Jones have any gas left in the tank, TJ?
I think Zeke is on his way out the door. It's just everybody's saying Zeke got like a good year or 2 left. But how long can he really carry the load of the Dallas offense?
Yeah.
And what's the other name?
Aaron Jones. So Zeke and Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones.
Green Bay's
running back.
Oh,
now that Devontae Adams is gone.
Oh, he gonna be. Aaron Jones still got some running back years, and you got running backs don't last long in the league. Not like they do, but not like they used to.
Yeah.
But Aaron Jones, he still got like 3-4 more good years with Green Bay.
Yeah.
But you gotta remember, because Aaron Rodgers took up most of their salary caps. I don't see them signing a lot of big names.
Yeah, that's true, and I think he's only got 2 years off the contract, I believe, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much they use him. McLaurin just got a new quarterback with Carson Wentz to start round 4, and then Patrick Mahomes, quarterback 2. We're on the clock. Why don't the two of you discuss who you think the next pick should be for us, what route we want to go?
I'm looking at the names here, and the person that sticks out to me, TJ here, is Jerry Jeudy. He's got that got himself a new quarterback in Russell Wilson. Very talented wide receiver, and I think he's in for a breakout.
Y'all see him have a breakout with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson still got some time left on him.
He's got some game for sure. That's where I would go. Or the other name, I don't know if you're familiar with the SEC since you're down south there. Travis Etienne, man. Jacksonville running back. He might be a backup, but I mean, I still think he's going to be. I think eventually he's going to get his shot in the league.
What about Mike Evans? Y'all think Mike Evans gonna have another breakout year?
I mean, he's always available with Brady to have a breakout year. The only thing that scares me is what if Brady leaves next year? I mean, where's Tampa?
Yeah, Chris Godwin went 5 picks ago, so he's going before Evans.
I think Jerry Jeudy is a sexy pick right here. I really do.
Jerry Jeudy to start us out with Tyreek Hill, Jerry Jeudy, Jamar Chase, and Cam Akers. That is pretty sexy. I'm not gonna lie. That's a good a lineup I can back, especially when we'll figure out our running backs later, because the player you were just talking about, Keenan, is still there. Let's take a look here and see how the round 4 went. 408. I'm just seeing the biggest name pop out, DeAndre Hopkins at 408. I mean, I guess at the age of 30, right before him was Devonta Smith, right after him, Mike Evans. Who would you guys rather have out of that group, Devonta Smith, DeAndre Hopkins, or Mike Evans?
Well,
you said Devonta Smith?
Yeah.
I like
Devontae
Mike
Smith
Evans
for the Eagles.
I like Mike Evans out of that.
Hopkins or Evans.
I do like Devontae, or I do like Smith. I just don't. I don't know. I'm more of a in fantasy. I'm more of what have you done for me lately, I guess. And Mike Evans is just solid every year. Every year, my man's getting double-digit touchdowns.
He's getting more consistent. He's got a few 3-touchdown games, and he was very consistent or very touchdown dependent a couple of years ago. But I think with DeAndre Hopkins now hitting, I believe, to age 29 or 30, he scares people. Evans is only a year behind, I believe. DeVonta Smith, 22. You know I liked me Smith as well. We were just talking about Jalen Hurts. I think I'd go Smith there as well. So, but Cooper was after all three of them. TJ, how does that make you feel, Amari Cooper, after all of them?
I don't know, cause I ain't go. Now that he on the Browns, I gotta see what he gonna do. Like I know Amari Cooper good, and he's still consistent on the 1,000 yards per season. Well, most of the time, but it's like, what can you do for the Browns? Yeah. That's just me being biased. I'm just we gonna see what y'all think. How you think? Let me ask
you.
You
sound like a Bills fan. You sound like a Bills fan. Oh, we got this big side. You gotta prove it. Yeah, I hear you, man. That's how we are. I think. I feel you. I understand where you're going at, where you're coming from, but I think who else is there? Who else is getting the damn ball? And the point that I made at our last episode is when you bring in a quarterback that like Deshaun Watson, who's very good on the field, but has a very, very bad off the field. Whatever's going on off the field, we won't get into that. But there's a distraction off the field. What are the Browns going to do? They're going to make sure their new acquisitions in Deshaun Watson and Cooper show out on the field. That they produce on the field, so everyone forgets about those distractions.
Yeah, that's true. How do you stop the distractions? You win games. Right? So that's what the Browns are going to have to do. They got to earn TJ's respect. Going to win the games to do that. Right before our pick here at 5:03, Elijah Moore and Elijah Mitchell. He is getting some. So that's probably the biggest hype train. But then again, it's what every 49ers running back every offseason gets that hype train.
Someone came up to me this past week and asked me if what they thought about that backfield because they had a trade in the works, and honestly, I don't know. I would stay away from that whole backfield. I know Elijah Mitchell had a amazing rookie year, but first of all, we don't even know who the quarterback is. And
TJ, tell me who the quarterback should be.
They go with Trey Lance.
They have to, TJ. It'd be silly if they didn't. But the thing is, there's just a lot of questions for me to be comfortable with that backfield. Not just in Mitchell, but there's a lot of questions around the whole team. And until even last year, they drafted where did they draft Sermon?
He was third round, I believe, and Mitchell, I want to say, was sixth.
Yeah, Sermon was going in the first round in drafts of dynasty leagues. Everyone thought he was going to be a guy. All of a sudden, Mitchell, the 6th round pick. Oh, here we go. Who the heck is this guy? And what did he? And everyone thought it was just a 1-week wonder. Nope, he played all year. And what I told our buddy, I said, stay away from that whole backfield until you get more clarification from either they trade someone or they drop someone. You have to stay away from that.
Yeah, Elijah Mitchell. I don't think I have many shares at all of him.
I'm just
Sermon. I can tell you I do. So
there's a name right here that I'm shocked there because I was going to take him 2 rounds ago. Travis Etienne. I know he's coming off an injury. I know Robinson's there. I know. Here I am. I'm questioning Mitchell in that backfield, and here I am. I want to draft Travis Etienne here because,
Peterson endorsed him. New head coach Doug Peterson said he's our starter, and he's going to get every chance to lose the job. And for him to come in after seeing what Robinson did last year and 2 years ago, and still say the guy that he didn't even draft is already the starter, I think you're right, Keenan. It's to me almost a steal in the 5th round.
Yeah.
He is 23 years young, has nothing on his body but a few injuries. And I know people are saying, well, those are some knee injuries and some serious injuries. And I understand that. but he still has Trevor Lawrence as his quarterback. Gets a hell of a lot more offensive-minded coach than, I'm not even going to say, he who shall not be named, that was prior. But I just think it's a whole better opportunity for him. And we'll go with an executive decision. And I promise to leave this next one up to TJ. But Travis Etienne's there. So going over our current roster, we have Travis Etienne and Cam Akers at our running backs. So we're going young. Young and not much that's proven.
Let's go to a quarterback list.
Go to the quarterback list? We'll definitely do that. Let me round out who we've seen so far. And then we also got Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, and Keenan. Remind me of our third wide receiver.
I have no idea. Who else we draft?
Yeah, we drafted the great one. All right, I'll get over there. I got stuck. We got Jerry Jeudy. That's right.
That's who it is.
So we're very young besides Tyreek Hill. I love our start. I understand we have questionable running backs, but it's a high floor, it's a high floor, and can be. Geez, I'm mixing this up. A high ceiling and a very low floor, so it can go really bad. But we got the quarterbacks up here. We got Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson, your boy TJ, and then a few more drop-offs, Russell Wilson. So we are in a bit of an elite tier still. We have those quarterbacks that will give you those top 5, top 3 upsides. What do you think you might be leaning here, TJ?
I just answer it would be Lamar, but you got to see the team because let's go back to the roster. What's our roster look like?
Absolutely. So we got Cam Akers and Travis Etienne at running back, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, and Jerry Jeudy for our 2 wide receivers and a flex.
I think Lamar don't go better throwing the ball deep, but I think with Jamar Chase and Tyreek, you need a deep thrower type quarterback.
Yeah, and I think the thing too is when we have someone like Cam Akers and Travis Etienne, I mean, if they don't do so well on the ground, which we're hoping for, Lamar Jackson might be there to make up for that, right? Because he can get you 1,000 yards on the ground. So you're getting some dual threat there. His passing has improved. His touchdown rate's always very high for his career. So I kind of don't mind that pick. What about you, Keenan?
I do like that pick, but I'm a big Joey B guy. But I do like that pick, and I do like your point, Antonio, where you said Cam Akers and Etienne do struggle on the ground. At least you have the run game from Lamar Jackson. So I do respect that pick.
Yeah, Kyler Murray was the quarterback before him, as well as Justin Herbert, and Kyler, again, dual threat quarterback. So I agree. I think Lamar Jackson would help keep us a little bit safer with some of the risk we have there. You also saw Michael Carter and CEH and Amon-Ra St. Brown going in the 5th round. So a few more sophomore players that are coming out with some high promise. Let's see. We're getting into the 7th round here. Already almost running through. I saw a few names.
This is our last pick, right?
2 more after this, or 2 more including this. We have 7th and 8th. But some young players like Rashad Bateman, Brandon Ayuk, Hollywood Brown. So you got Bateman and Brown in a very similar path here when they're both battling each other for targets. And then Dawson Knox going after Hawkinson at 6'12".
Wow.
So Dawson Knox was under Hawkinson, under Darren Waller. Do you think that should be the case? Is it the right spot for Dawson Knox, or is it too early?
I think it's high.
Yeah,
especially with the Bills signing. The tight end from
OJ Howard.
OJ Howard, yeah. I think that's high. I mean that offense is very powerful. I understand that, and he's going to get his, but is he going to get enough?
You're right. I think you're right there. As far as will he take that next step and get the opportunity to get higher than like a Hawkinson or a Waller? But right after that, you're seeing Pat Freiermuth, Dalton Schultz, Mike Gesicki, and Noah Fant. Are there any players you'd rather have there than Dawson Knox?
Mike Gesicki is very, very, very sexy pick. I very underrated. Antonio, you and I are always talking about him. That offense could be scary if Tua takes the next step.
TJ, do you have any strong feelings one way or another for one of these tight ends?
Let's see. I'm not really Came on tight ends. I see Dave. I see Joker down there. You see Zach Ertz, Tyler Higbee. I'm saying,
What
is it
about?
is it Hunter Henry? I'm saying Hunter Henry. It's not a lot
Yeah,
of big.
that's
No, what you gonna
sorry.
say? No, go
I
ahead.
was just saying, yeah, the route you were going was there's not a lot of great options here. Pat Fryermuth up top, young tight end, talking about Dawson Knox, another young tight end. Do you think Pat Fryermuth showed enough for you with Roethlisberger as well to say, hey, he might be the next up and coming tight end? Or Dalton
Well,
Schultz now that they got rid of the other tight end, Blake Jarwin in Dallas?
I've seen Pat in of course, the Browns versus Steelers game.
There you go.
I think now that Roethlisberger go and they get another quarterback, you go see because new young quarterbacks usually depend on tight ends. It's
Mhm.
always been like that. So we about to see what Pat about.
Yeah, that's true. All right, man. So we'll keep on moving down. Let's see here. So 7th round, Dallas Goedert going after Dawson Knox, and then Michael Thomas right before us. That would have been kind of sweet to have him. I know you probably wouldn't have agreed, Keenan, with
No,
our conversation with.
No, I would have agreed there.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
We get some youth options again in Darnell Mooney, who's still left. Miles Sanders at running back. Tony Pollard, if we're not believing in Zeke. So we're kind of hitting a little bit of a dead area, at least in my mind, as far as wide receivers go. So our wide receivers that are left, like I said, Darnell Mooney, Allen Robinson, Hunter Renfrow, Brandon Cooks, Juju Smith-Schuster. So I wouldn't mind maybe going the right running back route again and get some more depth for us. What do you guys think?
You got Robert Woods and Christian Kirk. What y'all feel about Christian Kirk and the contract he signed?
My Lord, what was that, like 5 years, 80 million? Whoa. Well, 4-year deal essentially, but
James Conner is probably your best running back here right now.
Yeah, now that Kirk left, and
based on
you were
usage,
just talking.
Yeah,
you were talking earlier, TJ, about Arizona being a great team. We got Miles Sanders too. Would you rather have Miles Sanders or James Conner?
Me or TJ?
TJ.
Oh, I'll go Miles Sanders. James Conner he don't do it for you. What you think, Kane?
It's a coin flip for me, honestly. I like both. I think Miles Sanders can be one of the better running backs if he got the usage, but James Conner is going to get the touches for sure. That's where I'm going at.
Touchdowns.
Yeah, that's where I'm going at. If you flip teams, if Miles Sanders is on Arizona, hell yeah, give me Miles Sanders. But they just haven't committed to him. Like I said earlier in the pod, they haven't committed to him. There's always a one or two running backs behind him that are taking touches away from him.
Yeah, and another thing that I mentioned with Lamar giving us more safety with the rushing, Conner gets a lot of touchdowns. So again, if we have any of our running backs like Etienne or Akers not doing it for us, James Conner might be able to pick up the workload. So let's go with James Conner as we get one more pick left. Let's see what happened, though, after James Conner. We got Damian Harris going, Darnell Mooney, then Miles Sanders, Allen Robinson, Kadarius Toney. Finally, you saw Trey Lance finally coming off the board. Robert Woods. Yeah, nobody I really think I was too concerned of missing. I actually kind of like how this went. Trey Lance and Adam Thielen right before us as Lance starts round 8. Would you rather have Trey Lance or Tua? Keenan.
Tua. Just there's no reason why. I just think I know what I'm getting from Tua. I'm getting those short underneath passes, and I have Hill and Waddle breaking them for touchdowns. I don't know what we're going to get out of Lance. I don't know what that offense is going to look like. In the end, I wouldn't be surprised if Lance was better, but I'd go with Tua.
TJ, do you think that San Francisco, with Kyle Shanahan, has been able to produce so many good players, not even necessarily big name players, but just players in general that are able to be extremely efficient? Do you believe in him enough to think Trey Lance could be the next one?
He can, but San Francisco is a known running team. Like they have like what 3 or 4 running backs, like 500 yards plus, 300-500
Yeah.
yards plus. I
Yeah.
think with Kyle Shanahan offense, I do think Kyle Shanahan needs to switch it up. But with his offense and Trey Lance being a young quarterback, I think he can get it done. What you think, Cannon?
I agree. But I go with Tua. Just
Yeah.
like I said, you know what you're getting out of Tua.
Interesting, but they are pretty close. All right, so we got our 8th pick here. I think we should round out the roster. Let's go over that. So we have Lamar Jackson at quarterback, our running backs Cam Akers and Travis Etienne, wide receivers Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill, at our flexes Jerry Jeudy and James Conner. So we're sitting here with a tight end opening. We're also sitting here with some options for depth. With the last pick we're going to go in today, I think I want to try and look at some tight end options just because they're getting a lot thinner. Actually, nobody's gone since we talked about Dalton Schultz almost 2 rounds ago.
Mike Gesicki.
Dawson Knox. Yeah, so I think it's time that we do address that because there will be a big cliff coming off. Mike Gesicki is who Keenan's looking at, but it doesn't bother you when you have Tyreek Hill? Like you not get worried about 2 players in the same team? Especially maybe one that's not going to throw a super high volume like the Dolphins.
Good point. Point taken.
I'm asking like in general.
Yeah, no, I try not to.
Yeah,
I try not to do that. I feel like you put yourself at a disadvantage, I guess. But I mean, it's still a dynasty league. You gotta go with who you think is the best available player. And I think Mike Gesicki is out of these 4 that I'm looking at. Steelers, questions at their offense. I mean, there's questions at all these teams, I guess. Noah Fant going to Seattle. No quarterback there. Who's their quarterback? Do we have a quarterback still? We don't have a quarterback. Drew Lock. Yeah. I like Mike Gesicki. I really do.
I think Mac Jones gonna throw it to Hunter Henry. Like,
yeah, I really am. I'm actually eyeing on Hunter Henry as well as a later round target for especially a second tight end possibility because we have there's at least 4 or 5 more players that I think we could draft before Hunter Henry gets scooped up. But I would like to have him. New England prone to using tight ends. Last year was a very lost season for Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. So I think for the good of the group, we'll take Pat. Yeah, I think we're going to go with Pat Freiermuth. Youngest out of here. He's 23. He had a fantastic year last year. I think it was top 10 all time for fantasy points for a tight end rookie season. So that's really good for him. And that's going to let me close out our 8th round here and see who had gone. I see Trevor Lawrence.
It's a good team.
I do like our team a lot, actually. We got some good mixes of youth, good opportunities for high ceiling. Russell Wilson went after us after Pat Freiermuth. Gabe Davis, the young wide receiver in Buffalo, then Hunter Renfrow, Juju Smith, and Deshaun Watson going at 808. I wonder if that suspension risk is, or causing just people in general that he hasn't played in a little while. Then Tyler Boyd, Odell Beckham, Trevor Lawrence, and Matthew Stafford. Would you rather have Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence, TJ?
Deshaun, could we actually say what Deshaun can do? We haven't seen much of Trevor Lawrence, so I'm gonna have to go with Deshaun. I mean, I know they both came from Clemson, but I think Deshaun did better.
Yeah.
What you think, Keenan?
I agree. The only issue is I think Deshaun Watson. I mean, I don't think Deshaun Watson hasn't played in almost 2 years now, and he's going to a new team. But Deshaun Watson is definitely the more talented player, I would think, in my opinion. But I mean, think about this. Deshaun Watson was drafted in the top 5 for quarterbacks 2 years ago. No question to ask.
Yeah, argued sometimes as the top one.
Top too. One, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I do agree with TJ. I would go with Deshaun for sure.
What about you, Antonio?
I'm Watson too. I mean, even last season I had high hopes that he was going to be coming back again, off-field activities aside. So I drafted him a little higher than I should have in a few startups, but I'm glad I have them now this year in those leagues. So let's run out our team, guys. Lamar Jackson at quarterback, our running backs, our Cam Akers, Travis Etienne, and James Conner. Again, just do the starting lineup so far. Our wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, and Jerry Jeudy. And we got Pat Freiermuth at tight end. Our oldest player is Tyreek Hill, which I am very happy about. And then after that, it's Lamar Jackson. So, guys, we're killing it in the youth. That's for sure. I'm a big fan of how that draft just went for the first 8. Again, we're going to get back to a few mocks later in the season. What do you guys? Do you like the team? Are you a big fan of it?
I think it's a great team.
I'll take that.
I think it's a fantasy championship team.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We got a good mix of investments for, like I said, youth. So we got a few years that everyone should still create higher ceilings for themselves. How was that going for your first mock, TJ? Not too bad.
That to be my first. I'm learning. I'm still learning.
He's gonna be up all night doing mock drafts now.
It's a lot of fun. Like I said, you can switch up the way you're doing it. Like next time, we want to go running backs first and see how our wide receivers end up. But again, pretty happy with the way this went for us. So that'll be it for the mock so far for April. Like I said, a few more weeks until the draft is actually here, and then we could throw some rookies into the mix. That's usually when startups start to happen, about a month from now. Rookie drafts, Keenan. Month from now, rookie draft.
I'm not ready. I'm literally not ready.
Oh man. Well, I think we're gonna close out the show because it's
March Madness. March Madness just killed my time the last month. Yeah. I was obsessed with it. I couldn't miss a stupid game.
Every weekend too. Like, my wife's like, "How is basketball not over yet? What is going on?"
Listen, my wife said that after the second day. She goes, "Basketball still on?" I'm like, it's March. Yeah, it'd be on all month, honey.
It's April now. What are you doing?
Yeah, TJ, don't get married.
Oh man, but but TJ, we do want to thank you so much, man, for coming on.
Really nice.
I hope you had a great time.
Let's do it again for sure.
Yeah, I hope I come back on.
Amen, man. Why don't you remind everybody where they can find you on Twitter?
My Twitter handle is at Mr. TJ Savage. If you can't find that, just Google TJ McKinley and it'll come up. And I'm a sophomore at Mississippi State, get his major in business economics.
Heck yeah.
So we wish you best. We wish you best.
A real nice, successful career for yourself, buddy. So, again, appreciate you so much for coming on. Heck of a time. You can follow the pod at Dynasty Mafia _FF. Follow me at Antonio Denisi FF and Keenan at Keenan _716. That's all we got this week. We'll be back next week, episode 53. We'll catch you guys then. Mafia.